Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. This is our second attempt at this video. The first one was a live feed. Now I'm going to try to do this not live. So, as I was saying before in the other video, I'm going to kind of repeat myself. When I was looking at this new Lion-O figure, I was looking at it through the eyes of somebody who loves the He-Man action figure line and who likes the Thundercats. So I liked the cartoon, I liked the cool music they had at the beginning, I liked a lot of the premise, but it wasn't where my first priority was, which was He-Man. And so having a Lion-O that could fit into the He-Man line was paramount for me. So the idea of having a Lion-O figure that looked just like it came from the He-Man collection was so cool. When we got the new Target exclusive Lion-O and I saw him, I was hugely disappointed because he did not look like classics. He looked like something else. And I was really hoping to use his parts to make a non-pinhole version, being it's so different, you just can't take and swap the parts. So I was like, I just figured it's just the same figure, just a lower paint quality. That was quite a shock to me to see that. And so yes, I did kind of react a little bit like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this cheap figure? Right? And then, of course, it has a lot less details. I decided to go back and look at some of my old videos from the Thundercats DVD collection and grab some screenshots from those so we can actually look at this figure and give it a fair shake based on the cartoon, not based on my, does it fit into the He-Man, which is usually what I base all figures on, does it fit into my He-Man Classics world. So, in light of that, let's take a look at this figure one more time, but this time without the bias of does it fit into the world of He-Man. We're just going to look at it as a Thundercat, and that's it. All right, here we have Lion-O, and I've already opened him up, and he's sitting right here. I printed off some pictures from the actual cartoon. I'll put them on the screen so you guys can see them. What's interesting though is I noticed the sword doesn't have any black lines around it. It's so crazy how they drew that for the blade. One thing I noticed right off the bat is the actual chest. The chest is much smaller in the cartoon than a He-Man's chest is. That's kind of interesting there, but its biceps are awfully large. And so taking a look at the comparison coloring now, granted, this is on a printer from a cartoon, from a screenshot, and it's supposed to be at night, so the coloring is not going to be quite right. But you can see, though, that his skin tone is still super light colored from what I think it should be. Now, I'm hoping that the laser eye version is a different shade of darkness. Hopefully it matches this a little more. I do like this is more blue. This looks more purple. I'm not sure why that came out purple, if that's just the coloring of the light or what it was. But you can see, though, that they actually did match the cartoon better. You can see we got these little single rib pieces right here, a small chest, single rib, and it actually looks more like the cartoon. And, of course, the cartoon has less detail. Like, look at that. It looks very similar. I mean, I can almost line these right up with how the cartoon looks. Granted, he does have wider lats on the cartoon than this does, but that's all right. I have to eat a little crow and say I was wrong, but in this picture right here, you can see his chest is more pronounced. If you rotate this around, you can see his chest does have more shape to it than they gave him here. So his chest should be more bulky than they gave us, but this aesthetic matches the cartoon better than the figure I wasn't going to mention, which is this one here, which I think is totally awesome. But that's just my own biased opinion because I love that sculpt so much that the Four Horsemen did. So again, you can see maybe the chest could be a little larger than what they gave us. It does match the aesthetic, especially this line right here. That matches so well with what we're looking at. Let's take a look at a shot where he's actually flexing his sword down. His biceps are monstrous, larger than his shoulders. In this picture here, you can see that his tricep and his biceps stick out far beyond the shoulder. This one especially, you can really see it in the bottom. And then looking at his whole body aesthetic from top to bottom, you can see that it does match closer to the cartoon. Now his thighs are a little larger in the cartoon, but still it's a lot closer than we got from the actual Ultimates version originally, as you guys know. I love this aesthetic of how he looks. Super 7, you're really close. Just give it a little bit darker coloring, and I think it'll match the cartoon. The original toy was very orange in color, so just give it a little more brown orange, kind of muted down orange, instead of this pink hue you gave us. This looks more fleshy than furry. But so I did like the detail on the hair. They could still add detail on the hair, even though it's cartoony. I don't think that would hurt to give us more detail on the hair. Let me go and take a look at the eyes. The eyes have it. You can see here how his eyes look. They did get the eyes right, but the skin tone's just not right. It's not dark enough. The eyes do look pretty close to the cartoon. They took a lot of reference from the cartoon to make this. Super 7, sorry I did you wrong last video, but you actually did a pretty good job on this. I'm hoping the lighter version has a different color scheme to match the cartoon more. If you get your Lion-O, beware the biceps are backwards. In my other video, I'll show you how to fix it. Basically, you just heat them up, pop them off, and swap them. They are actually marked wrong. This one is marked right, and this one is marked left. It wasn't that somebody assembled it wrong. It's that when they produced the parts, they marked the left and the right wrong. I'm guessing it probably happened when they assembled the figure before sending it over, that someone messed up and put the arms in the wrong spot. And we've seen that before with other figures. We've had, what was his name? Stinkor, where they had the forearms mixed up before they sent it off to production. And we've also seen many times where the shoulders were backwards. Both the original He-Man and Grayskull also had reverse shoulders. So we've seen that a couple times. The people putting together the parts before they send them off to production will sometimes mess up, and so they're all made wrong because of that mistake. But luckily, these are easy to swap out, and you can get them back to normal. All right, that is all I had. I just wanted to let you guys know that after sitting on it for a number of days, I've reconsidered. This figure's not so bad after all. I was just really disappointed that it was not this. I thought it'd be the exact same buck. And so I guess if I had to mention what this is like, it's like going from classics to Masterverse. That's kind of what the switch is. So just like I was not really excited about the Masterverse He-Man figures, and they do take some cool ones, that's kind of what this is like. They're leaving this cool aesthetic and going with this aesthetic to match the cartoon a little closer. So with that, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. We'll say Thundercats, ho! Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it!